Somewhere out there, a civilization may look up at its night sky, point its finest telescope into the dark, and conclude it is completely alone in the universe. And it would be wrong. There are trillions of galaxies out there, they just cannot see any of them, because they would be trapped inside the emptiest place we have ever found. Let me take you there. In 1981, an astronomer named Robert Kirshner was mapping the distances to galaxies in one patch of sky, toward a constellation called Boötes. And in the middle of his map, the galaxies just stopped. He had found a hole in the universe. And it is not a small hole. The Boötes void is about 330 million light-years across. If our entire Milky Way were shrunk to a single grain of sand, this empty region would still be the size of a football stadium. It is one of the largest structures ever discovered, and it is made almost entirely of nothing. Now, space is always mostly empty, but this is different. Run the numbers on how galaxies are normally spread out, and a region this size should hold around 2,000 of them. Astronomers have looked carefully for decades. They have found about 60. Imagine walking into a city built for 2,000 people and finding 60. A few scattered houses with the lights on, everything else dark. Which raises a question. How do you even carve a hole this big into reality? But first, here's the thought that keeps some astronomers up at night. Those 60 galaxies are so far apart that from a planet inside one of them, the nearest neighboring galaxy might be too faint to notice at all. Which means, if our own Milky Way had formed near the center of this void, our whole history would be different. We worked out that other galaxies existed in the 1920s, just by looking up. A civilization inside the Boötes void might not have figured that out for centuries longer, if ever. They might truly believe their single galaxy was the whole of creation. So, how do you build a hole this big? The leading idea reaches all the way back to the beginning. In the first instance after the Big Bang, matter was not spread perfectly evenly, faint ripples, some regions slightly denser than others, and gravity is not fair. Dense regions pull matter toward themselves, draining it away from the sparse ones. Over billions of years, the rich got richer and the empty got emptier. Galaxies ended up strung along glowing filaments, a cosmic web, and the voids are the vast dark gaps between the threads. Boötes is simply the largest gap we have found. The universe is far more crowded than it looks from in there, and far lonelier than it looks from out here. If you were on one of those 60 lonely worlds, would you ever even think to search the dark? Drop your theory below. And if a hole in reality this size unsettles you, the thing on screen now is a structure so large it bends our entire galaxy toward it. Somewhere between an empty patch of sky and something pulling on everything we know, this channel finds something this hard to believe every single day. Subscribe so you don't miss the next one.